The NASCAR Winston Cup Food City 500 from Bristol International Raceway coming to you live. We are under caution because of an incident up in turn 3 involving Dale Jarrett.
Here we see the guys changing left sides. And Mark Martin has to turn a heavy right, but Earnhardt can't get out, has to back up once again because Jeff Bodine is right in front of him.
The second time that Dale has had to back up before going out.
And we see Rusty Wallace on pit road. Here comes Ernie Irvin's going to come out second. Mark Martin third. Our leader goes from first to third. Here comes Kyle Petty. Earnhardt comes up fifth.
And overhead from the blimp, you can see how tight the pits are. There's Jeff Bodine moving into his pit space. And you can see that there is just no room for Dale to pull out. And so he has to back up.
One of the problems, Bodine's back end of his car was sticking so far out on pit road. He was legal as far as that part was concerned, but it was very tough for Earnhardt to get out.
Well, my apologies to Dale Jarrett. I said that it appears as if it just got out from under him. There was apparently some contact between Dale and Bobby Hillin Jr. because Dale went onto the racetrack in the caution period, and you can see what happened. Obviously, Dale
he was not very smart
about the situation.
Angry with John with Bobby Hillin. John Kernan, is he cool down yet?
Well, Dale is discussing things along with crew chief Jimmy Makar and a NASCAR official. Dale also getting some words of encouragement from some other crew members. And Dale, I know it's a tough time right now, but what happened out there?
It's the car that's laps down, an idiot. Drives off into the corner and ran into the side of me. That's all you can say, you know. People just don't use their heads sometimes. You know, if I've been in a wreck and I'm left down, I try to give the guys, you know, there's not a lot of room here anyway. Obviously, he doesn't use his head. It's a shame. We had a fast race car, and takes us right out of the points and everything.
Dale Jarrett obviously very, very hot right now, guys. And, you know, this is typical of some short track racing. You see these guys, a lot of things happen very quickly out here. If a car doesn't get out of your way, then you're in the wall.
We see Bobby Hillin going down on the bottom of the racetrack. I don't know if he's going to let all the cars, I guess he's letting all the cars go by and falling in the behind.
Well, we, of course, are involved in the short track part of the Winston Cup season here. We'll be at North Wilkesboro, at Martinsville. And when we have these tight racetracks, you do have contact with other drivers, and very often tempers flare, and that's just part of the game.
Well, it is. It's tough to handle, but you need to really keep that temper down as much as you possibly can. Although I've been in those same positions, and it's hard to hold the temper when you have a good car and you're running good and something happens, because these things do happen on these, as you say, these type of races.
Ernie Irvin underneath. Yeah, Ernie Irvin is knocking on Rusty Wallace's back bumper. It's really a three-car battle as Mark Martin comes up.
But once again, we saw Mark Martin earlier. In 10 or 15 laps, he stayed about this relative position behind Rusty Wallace, but in a few laps, he's able to, after the tires got good hot, Mark Martin able to go to the front. But we'll see if he can do it again. Meanwhile, Dale Earnhardt took over fourth spot from Kyle Petty.
Kyle is fifth, Ricky Rudd is sixth. Darrell Waltrip now in seventh position. Papa Waltrip in eighth.
Again, we don't see anybody that's able to run with Rusty Wallace at this point because he is staying about 2 car lengths ahead of Ernie Irvin, and Ernie staying just about that distance ahead of third place Martin. 220 laps completed. We're nearing the halfway point of this Food City 500. Rusty is the leader, back after these messages. Up front, Wallace, Irvin, and Martin. Not too far behind in fourth position, although almost a full straightaway, Kyle Petty and Dale Earnhardt.
And Kyle Petty just went back around Dale Earnhardt the last lap. Now Earnhardt trying to go back around him. There's fourth and fifth. Ricky Rudd is sixth. Darrell Waltrip is seventh. I left out Derek Coates a moment ago. He is currently being shown in eighth, and the Bojangles fourth.
Here's how Kyle got the spot.
Got position on Earnhardt. Evidently, Dale Earnhardt lost a little traction coming off turn 4. Gave Kyle the run. And there goes Earnhardt back by.
Kyle just moved up and let him go. I think Kyle realized the reason that he was able to get around Earnhardt. He caught him when he perhaps broke traction just for a little bit. So he came back up and Kyle realized he was a little bit faster than him, so he let him go.
While we have the opportunity here, let us salute a couple of people. First of all, NASCAR Winston Cup director Gary Nelson and his wife had a little baby last night. William Arnold, who checked in at 7 pounds 8 ounces, 19 and a half inches long, born yesterday at Presbyterian Hospital in Charlotte. And Bill France Jr., the president of NASCAR, celebrating a birthday today. Happy birthday, Bill. Should we tell how old he is?
No. Okay. Because it's one of those zeros, and man, they interrupt. Here comes Mark Martin trying to close in on the back of Ernie Irvin.
Our Olympic stained in-car camera being carried by Mark Martin.
So Bill France Jr. is approximately the same age as me, and I'm 60.
Well, that narrows it down, doesn't it? Thank you, Ned.
Now Mark has got to try to get by Ernie before he gets back to Rusty. And that might be pretty tough.
Rusty, meanwhile, is approaching Joe Ruttman and Kenny Wallace.
I think you're right. After Mark Martin runs for 15 or 20 laps, the car really starts coming in.
Yeah, those guys are able to outrun him for about 10 or 15 laps. But right now, he is as fast as anyone on the racetrack. He looks inside. Ernie, he's alongside Ernie Irvin.
He's got him. Mark Martin moves to second.
Mark who?
Easy for me to say, huh? Rusty's in traffic. Mark's going to be able to close in for the moment. Rusty heads to the high side of the racetrack to pass Joe Ruttman.
Lets Mark have the bottom line, the preferred group. We'll see how much time that he made up, how many car lengths and Mark Martin closed in. Now Mark has to pass on the outside.
And Rusty got back to the inside, so that distance will widen out once again, because now Rusty passing his brother, which he shouldn't have much problem, passing Kenny Wallace in the Dirt Devil Pontiac.
Kenny is 17th.
They'll have to go in the corner, come up, just barely miss the other car, just barely miss Kenny Wallace. Now he tries to get in the corner, tries to get as low as he can. They'll come off the corner right on the bottom.
Well, even though they're getting the pass-over flag when they come around, that means move to the inside of the racetrack, let the leaders go. It still is a tough pass because the outside groove is not nearly as fast as that inside groove, and you really have to be very careful up there, and they lose a lot of time when they pass the car. I've been clocking some of them, and it'll be from a half to a second a lap that they lose when they get up on the outside of their car, and it's a car that's not even battling them.
Yeah, that's right.
Moving out of the way and giving them racing room.
Even though there's a tremendous speed differential between the car passing and the one being passed, it's still difficult to get around. Well, Rusty Wallace is in command here at Bristol as we continue our live coverage of the Food City 500. Stay with us. We'll be right back.